Yo, what's up, guys? So, today's topic is why Monster Legends will fail unless this happens. And first of all, I want to talk about why I believe, personally, Monster Legends is actually on its way to failing as a game, right? There are two reasons I can think of. And again, this is not me hoping anything happens. This is just, I believe this is going to happen, assuming the trends continue, all right? So, number one. The first reason why I think this game is failing is because it is far too predictable, right? Every single month for the past few months, it has basically been the same few events, right? Usually starts off with a 7-day breeding event along with the marathon, right? And then after that, it goes to quest, the breeding phase, and then the dungeon phase. And then after that, it goes to a 7-day maze. Then after that, it goes to fraternity breeding event, which is very similar, if not exactly the same as the quest minus the dungeon. Then there's tails and so on, right? And then finally, the last week is going to be the bounty hunt, right? And you can even start to predict when certain offers will show up because it's always the same. It's like different variants of the same offer that always pop up. Like, for example, on exactly 7 days left of the Legends Pass, you get the Super Rune offer where you can buy 3 of them for $20 each, right? And yeah, I mean, that's the first problem, is that everything is far too predictable in this game right now, right? Basically, if you've been playing enough times, you start to actually be able to predict what events will come and when, and it all just feels very robotic, and after doing it a few times, you really don't want to anymore. At least I don't want to anymore, right? I'm sure that at least some of you watching this video can agree with that. It's just basically become very repetitive, and again, unless they introduce something new, that's the first reason why I believe that this game is on its way to failing. So the second aspect, and the second reason why I think the game is going to fail if it continues the way it has been going, is everything feels very rigid. I've talked about this in a number of videos before. For example, you have to pay a fee to take runes off, specifically in gems, which are the hard to get currency in this game. You know, you also have to wait for stamina to come back. You can only play Era Sagas one time and then it just completely disappears. So you don't even get to play it again just for fun with no rewards, right? And you can just keep on naming things, right? Almost everything that you can imagine requires waiting. Even the bounty hunt, right? You can only move 5 times, then you have to come back 2.5 hours later. You have to wait for collections. It's all very robotic, and it all really feels like it's a task as opposed to a game, right? It's almost like you kind of have to because it's very hamster wheel-like. It makes you run in kind of a circle, and it's all about keeping track of things, and it's just kind of the antithesis of what a game should really even feel like, right? That's the reason why I really believe that this is on its way to failure, right? That's the second reason, at least. At the end of the day, if there isn't any oil to make the process easier, smoother, more fun, you're eventually going to walk away from something, right? So now that we've talked about 2 reasons why Monster Legends is potentially on its way to ruin, at least in my personal opinion, I want to talk about what they could do to fix this. All right, so the first thing is add more permanent novelty, right? Something very innovative, not just new monsters, slapping on updated stats and then introducing new talents and status effects. That's all cool, but it's very, very fleeting novelty. It's not the kind of thing that will keep you hooked for months to come because it's just going to be the same repetitive nature of the same events and so on next month, right? So it's only going to last like 1 month in terms of novelty when they introduce a new era. We're talking about something new, like a new mode, something that will actually give you a reason to keep showing up to the game, regardless of how long you keep playing it. Maybe you could actually allow people to, let's say, replay the Era Sagas, or, maybe introduce a brand new event that actually takes advantage of other monsters in the game as opposed to just letting them fall by the wayside. Just something that allows people to come back to the game because they want to come back, not because they feel like they have to come back because it's been programmed into them. Another thing that I can suggest here is more permanent purchases, right? I want to, see things that actually last long in the game, not just I'm going to purchase this one time for the Legends Pass and then basically never use it again potentially, right? That's just a waste, and it just seems like a subscription for the sake of charging money. Doesn't seem like the money's actually going to use, right? You take Jurassic World, for example. It's another game I've really been getting into, and some of the dinosaurs that came out like 4 years ago are still relevant today. Like, the power scaling doesn't really happen in that game. And so, yeah, I definitely feel like that should be implemented into this game as well. If you invest money, there should be more value to the investment, right? For example, take the hatchery here, right? The 4 slots, that's worth it. The breeding jokers, that's also worth it, right? They need more stuff like that in the game. Otherwise, people will feel like their money is just going to waste, right? I put in a lot of money in this game, and a few eras later, there's pretty much nothing to show for it. that has to change. And finally, there should be a decrease to the overall rigidness of this game. There should be this smooth kind of feeling to it where you show up and there aren't that many restrictions placed on you, right? Maybe you have a potential mode where you can actually just use your monsters, right? You can just play around with them, maybe fight some bosses and so on, and you don't have to wait, right? Maybe, implement something where you can just switch out runes for free without charging anything for it, right? That would really, really help out. The stamina aspect, I don't really see why that's even a thing in the first place. It's just really irritating. It's completely unnecessary in my opinion. Maybe you could argue that it was done for the sake of keeping people away from the game, right? Same thing with the bounty hunt, like, oh, now people don't have to keep looming over the screen. But I find that when I have something that I'm waiting for, I actually keep on opening it up to look at it. So it kind of backfires in my personal opinion. So yeah, those are a couple of things that I just thought up off the top of my head as far as potential reasons why this game will completely crash and burn one day, and a couple of things they can do to fix it. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like letting me know, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.